Now at 9, a Department of Public Works board member removed from his position. Just ahead, the comments that got him in trouble.
And Election Day is just 6 days away. What the candidates are doing to secure their final votes.
Tracking rain chances as well as some sunny conditions coming along the way. I'll have all those details coming up.
From the heart of Ball State University, live from the Unified Media Newsroom, NewsLink Indiana starts right now.
Muncie Mayor Dan Ridenour says comments made by a Board of Public Works member were inappropriate. Good evening, I'm Alex Almanza.
And I'm Brittany Dobbins. The comments drew outrage, and Ridenour says the member will no longer serve in that position. NewsLink Indiana's Tyler Brummett has been following this story all day. Tyler, what were the comments about?
Well, Britt and Alex, late this morning when talking about retiree health insurance, Jerry Wise, who's now a former Board of Public Works member, asked if shooting those over 65 years old would help with problems. The meeting was streamed this morning on the city's Facebook page. Wise's comments were met with some laughs from people who were there. The board was looking to approve expenditures, including for life insurance for city employees 65 and older. NewsLink Indiana, we've decided here to play the comments from today's meeting, but we do want to warn you what is said might be upsetting to some. Take a look.
Under health insurance, Humana Insurance, $701.
So that's life insurance for employees over 65 or retirees.
Shouldn't you just shoot those people? Kidding.
The mayor did respond after the meeting, announcing Wise will no longer serve on the board. Ridenour says Wise's comments in no way reflect the opinions of those on the Board of Public Works. He hopes his administration can repair the damage that was done.
While I cannot erase the comment of Mr. Wise, I can remove his presence from the board. I am hopeful that this will be the first step to repair the damage of his errant statement and restore dignity to our city.
The mayor went on to say that this type of behavior will never be tolerated in his administration. We did try to reach out to Wise, but those attempts were unsuccessful. Wise was appointed to the board by Mayor Ridenour when he took over earlier this year. According to the city's website, he's still listed as the board's vice president. And guys, I do want to mention that I also did reach out to the Board of Public Works. I have not yet heard back, but one question that some people might have is who exactly will take over? That's what I asked the board, and hopefully we get an answer soon, guys.
All right, Tyler, thank you so much. And in your election coverage tonight, 6 days until Election Day, and the presidential candidates are wrapping up their last few stops on the campaign trail.
The candidates will be making their final stops this upcoming weekend to try to gain votes before Tuesday's election. Former Vice President Joe Biden stopped in Delaware earlier today, addressing topics like the response to COVID-19 and condemning the looting and rioting in Philadelphia.
There's no excuse whatsoever for the looting and the violence, none whatsoever. I think to be able to protest is totally legitimate, it's totally reasonable, but I think that the looting is just, as the victim's father said, do not do this. It's not what my son, you're not helping, you're hurting, you're not helping my son.
President Donald Trump was in Las Vegas earlier for one of his last press briefings before the election. He addressed topics like the recent poll results and the Philadelphia protests, condemning Biden's response.
The problem with Joe's all talk and no action. You got to have some action. You can't let that happen. I went to school in that city.
And while Trump targets swing states and looks to hang on to those he won in 2016, the Biden campaign is aiming beyond traditional blue and battleground states. Senator Kamala Harris is in Arizona today, where she expressed the need for continuous campaigning.
I feel very strongly. Nobody's supposed to vote for us. We need to earn their vote. And that's why we are traveling around the country.
Joining Biden on the campaign trail.
The candidates are making their final pushes in swing states, but only one state over from us. Two men are accused of running a massive scheme to intimidate minority voters using robocalls. Emily Hamilton reports.
Mail-in voting sounds great, but did you know that if you vote by mail, your personal information will be part of a public database that will be used by police departments to track down old warrants and be used by credit card companies to collect outstanding debts?
That's just a snippet of a 38-second audio recording Cuyahoga County prosecutors say was sent to nearly 10,000 Cleveland area voters.
This is outrageous activity. This is a blatant attempt to suppress the vote or people that may not understand that this is a scare tactic.
Cuyahoga County Assistant Prosecutor Richard Bell alleges 54-year-old John Jack Berkman and 22-year-old Jacob Wool conspired to discourage voters all across the country against voting by mail.
Thank you.
We have a clear case of voter suppression and voter intimidation.
County prosecutors claim the two men paid a messaging company to send out the warning using a female voice and the name Tamika Taylor, the first name of Breonna Taylor's mother. Authorities say the men chose this name to appeal to minority communities.
This is being used in order to ingratiate themselves and make connection with the callers.
Berkman and Wool were indicted in Cuyahoga County Tuesday on 8 counts of telecommunications fraud and 7 counts of bribery for intimidation under the bribery statute of election laws. The two men have already been charged with felonies in Michigan for the same activity.
Don't be finessed into giving your private information to the man. Stay safe and beware of vote by mail.
Bell wants to reiterate to voters that the claims in the recording are untrue.
All of these are false.
And that voter intimidation will not be tolerated.
Berkman lives in Virginia while Wool is in California. Cleveland investigators have issued warrants for their arrests. If they're convicted, they could potentially serve more than 18 years in prison.
Another hurricane zeroes in on the Gulf Coast. Hurricane Zeta is expected to make landfall tonight, and residents are bracing for high winds and flash flooding. A hurricane warning is in effect from Louisiana to the Mississippi-Alabama border, including New Orleans. Once Zeta makes landfall, heavy wind, rain, and storm surges as high as 8 feet above normal tide is expected. Officials in Jefferson and Terrebonne parishes have issued mandatory evacuation orders. If Zeta hits Louisiana, it will be the 5th storm of the season to do so. You know, some crazy conditions there. Chris, are we going to see some of those weather conditions here in Indiana?
We will definitely see some weather conditions tomorrow, but for today, we've been sitting pretty gloomy with this cloud still lingering around in the area. Temperatures still feeling kind of comfortable right now, still on the chilly side, still kind of need your jacket. 53 here in Muncie, 50 in Indianapolis, 51 for you folks down in Bloomington. So now what we're going to be tracking throughout most of the day is going to be the tropical activity, the cooler weather, as well as the rain that's going to be expected. But we got a nice surprise. Sun is going to be coming back into the forecast. I'll have all those details coming up.
Now to your coronavirus headlines tonight. State officials provided an update this afternoon to the pandemic response. Indiana leaders talked about a plan to get a vaccine available for people in Indiana as soon as they can. The first doses are expected to arrive early next month. The current plan calls for initial doses to be given to those in high-risk categories, including healthcare workers. State officials say as concern grows over the number of cases in Indiana, they hope this is a big help.
This is a widely available vaccine to all people of all ages is still months away. So keep wearing your mask, washing your hands, and practicing social distancing. They're the best tools that we have right now.
Also at the briefing, State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Box was back in person after a battle with COVID-19. Box says she and her family have all recovered from the virus.
Here back on campus, 3 new cases have been reported on the university's dashboard. No new cases are from students through Ball State's partnership with IU Health. 2 student cases and 1 employee case were reported from other sources outside of IU Health. A total of 1,127 cases have been confirmed since the dashboard launched on August 17th. 46 of those are active, and 1,081 of those cases are now considered to be recoveries.
Halloween is looking a little different this year, and one local restaurant took celebrating into their own hands.
And a small town near Muncie is known for its hauntings. The real history behind the town after the break.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, Mitts will take you there.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. Over 300 kids attended a trunk or treat this past weekend hosted by a local restaurant in town. NewsLink Indiana's Tara Konechny tells us the reasoning behind the event.
As it's nearing towards Halloween, this past Sunday, Cheers Tavern in Muncie hosted a local trunk or treat for kids.
We started this is our third year.
Cars were decorated and costumes were flowing into the Cheers Tavern parking lot.
I like doing things for kids. Our owner is very into helping kids.
In the age of COVID, many wondered what Halloween would look like this year, but Jesse thinks it's the perfect alternative.
Keeps them from going house to house if they're not comfortable with that, so we decided to go ahead and do it this year for that.
Every year they get more kids, but this year might be the best one yet.
New this year, all of my blow-ups this year are new. The toy hauler is new this year with all the toys in it, and then we have a bunch of different people this year that decided to help.
But for the owner of Cheers Tavern, Tony, this wasn't about just Halloween. It was about doing things for kids. Tony is a part of Guardians of the Children, which is a nonprofit organization to react and recognize child abuse.
Once there's charges filed, like whether a kid got hurt, injured, beat, or sexually molested, we become a part of those kids' lives.
Tony explains the impact it has on the child who is sitting in court.
Sitting in that courtroom and they're looking at the person who hurt them. They look behind that person, and there's either 10 to 30 or 40 of us sitting there with our vest on. You're going to feel a lot safer.
Many of the Guardians came Sunday to hand out candy to kids, and some even in style.
And we do this every year, and every employee I have gets involved.
In Muncie, Tara Konechny, NewsLink, Indiana.
And again, Halloween is just around the corner, and a small town southeast of Muncie is known for its haunting moments, but the real history behind the town is more mysterious. Old Town Hill has a soul-stirring myth spreading to ghost hunters for several years. The myth says that old miners were digging for gold when they heard a strange noise in a, quote, most bewitchingly peculiar, strange, and frightful manner. It goes on to say that the noise scared the miners and caused them to leave. While the myth is fun to share, a local church pastor says it all stems from guilt for taking Indian land.
Stops for Native Americans. Tecumseh was around here at some point as he was trying to free his people from white man's tyranny, if you will, and trying to take their land. So there's a lot of that history here. But it was really known as a trading post for Americans, especially when you got the river just right over here, and they would use that as a great waterway for trade and transportation.
Reebok is releasing some scary cool new footwear just in time for Halloween. The Ghostbusters sneakers are part of a new collection inspired by the Ghostbusters film franchise. The collection includes 2 pairs of sneakers called Ghost Smashers and Classic Leather. There are also several shirts and jumpsuits being released. Reebok says the collection will be sold online Halloween night. The Classic Leather shoes are $100 and the Ghost Smashers are $150.
McDonald's began selling some new pastry items today. Apple fritters, blueberry muffins, and cinnamon rolls joined the McCafe bakery lineup. The sweets are available all day, while on the other hand, all-day breakfast is still ghosting us because of the pandemic. The new pastries will be the first bakery items added to McDonald's core menu in over 8 years. But the all-day breakfast will still be on a break during the pandemic. And while those sweets do sound really good, the weather not so sweet tomorrow. Chris, how's it looking out there?
Well, we're going to be expecting some rainy conditions, but how much rain are we going to get? I'll have all those details coming up right after the break.
go back and change it all. I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
And there's a live look over campus, a bit on the cooler side. But Chris, is it enough to send shivers down our spine this Halloween weekend?
Yes, if you actually like the cooler weather, well, it will definitely send shivers down your spine. But if you're looking at today and even tonight, we're still sitting around overcast skies, clouds lingering around in the area. Zooming out just a little bit, we are noticing a lot of precipitation just down to the south. This is due to Hurricane Zeta that has just impacted the Louisiana coast. We have this dome of high pressure just off to our west. This is kind of keeping that rain from impacting our area. Now looking at current conditions right now, we are sitting pretty comfortable, 53 degrees, winds on the calm side coming out of the east, northeast at 3 miles per hour. Looking across the state, we're still sitting around those lower 50s, 50 in Indianapolis, 53 here in Muncie, 52 down in Shelbyville. Now, as we're looking as calm winds today, we are going to be expecting gusty winds by tomorrow. Wind gusts could top all the way up to 20 miles per hour. And speaking of windy conditions, we are going to go down to the south with Hurricane Zeta. Zeta impacted Louisiana coast today at 4 p.m. as a Category 2 hurricane. Currently going to be tracking off to the northeast, and that's going to eventually impact New Orleans. For tonight, we're going to definitely be sitting in the mid-40s, cloudy skies, showers start moving into the area. Tomorrow, that's when all the rain starts to happen. Temperatures hovering around those mid-40s. Rain going to be impacting most of the day. By tomorrow, we'll be tracking this all out on Precision Cast, staying cloudy for the day, but then rain will slowly start to move into the area by tomorrow morning, continuing all the way through the noontime and even into the early evening before it finally passes and bringing us cloudy skies. As we're looking at rainfall totals here in Muncie, we're going to be just a little over an inch, and as well as most places, are going to sit slightly above 1 inch of rain. Now, as we're going to be looking and tracking the countdown to Halloween, 3 days to Halloween. Spooky Day is going to be coming up. And how is our forecast going to be looking? Sunny skies. It's going to be beautiful. Temperatures hovering around those mid-50s. Full moon as well expected. The last time we had a full moon on Halloween was set back in 1955. Now, as we're looking at the midst 7-day forecast, if you love sunny weather, well, you're in for this amazing treat. Thursday, we're going to be expecting rainy conditions throughout most of the day, but then we clear up by Friday, leading to sunny skies and temperatures hovering around those upper 40s to mid 50s. So, and it's just going to be sunny day after day after day. So if you like sunny weather, I just like Halloween. So I don't care about the sun, but
I think everyone does. I think everyone's going to love that perfect stretch of weather. It's going to be perfect.
Oh yeah, no shivers on our spine that day with all the sunshine coming.
Right.
All right, thank you, Chris.
A local high school football team has lost in the state the last 2 seasons, but they're looking into win it all this year.
And a local cross-country winner is going to state. Find out who it is next in sports.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow. Oh, she's one great listener and loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Problems. The ones nobody talks about at cocktail parties. We go looking for them. No matter the obstacles, no matter the odds, we surround a community's most critical problems, and we fight. United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you?
It doesn't take a scientist to cure hunger or a fancy economist to create safe housing. It takes imagination, creativity, sweat equity. When I think of kids going to school hungry, hunger, homelessness, in this land of plenty, seriously? Come on, we could fix this. Help out, or don't. The choice is yours.
Weeknights, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed.
But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal weather. We've got the latest news headlines.
Freezing temperatures have set in all the way down in Louisiana.
One man dead after flooding in Venice, Italy.
Up to the minute weather conditions.
Cold temperatures are the story this morning.
And of course, lots of fun.
It is not funny.
What on earth is happening there?
I feel sorry for the little guy.
I've got my socks on. Annie with her curly hair, which is actually never curly. Join us Friday mornings at 8 on Facebook Live.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Noel Beaumont with sports. Just over half hour north of Muncie, Eastbrook High School has been making noise on the football field. NewsLink Indiana's Blake Dahlier has a story on the Panthers' push in the postseason.
Eastbrook High School, home of the Panthers and perhaps one of the brightest hidden gems under the Friday night lights.
It's a family type community. It's really family oriented. We're a really close group of guys, and it's really just awesome to be really close to everybody.
But now it's postseason, meaning the fun and games are over, and it's win or go home.
Any time that you don't do your job well could be your last game. We really are in a chase for trying to get a sectional championship, a regional championship, and get back to the state.
Eastbrook football's lost in the state championship each of the last 2 seasons. Now this year, they're wanting to change things up a little bit. So they're doing whatever it takes, even if that means practicing in the cold, wind, and rain on a day like today.
It was disappointing, you know, and I think the toughest thing is you know that it's going to be the last time that group of guys are going to be together.
That was Coach Adamson's reaction to the results of the last 2 state championship games. But the team, confident in its growth, and back again, ready to give it a shot at round 3.
Those were tough. Western Boone had 2 really good teams. With that experience, it's going to be a lot easier for guys to get over nerves during the tournament, knowing that we've been here before.
It's everything to me. It's everything to this team too. We want it really bad.
I think we just got to go out and take one game at a time as we go through the tournament. With that mentality is that you have to get better each and every week as you go.
The Panthers, having never won a state championship, but been so close so many times. The team with its eyes on the prize, looking to make its mark in school history. In Marion, Blake Dahlier, NewsLink, Indiana.
Round 2 of sectionals will be at Tipton Friday night at 7. Racing is ending, but one Delta High School freshman has her eyes set on crossing the finish line one more time. Cross-country runner Nikki Sutherland finishing in second place at last week's semi-state meet. As the only state qualifier for Delta High School, Sutherland planning to take this opportunity to prove to herself and others that she's just as good as seasoned veterans across the state. Cross-country head coach Mackenzie Dye Conley trusting that Sutherland will gain a lot of experience from the state meet.
Been working really hard and running hard all season to get the opportunity. I know that I have next weekend and that's the one that really matters, so I'm going to try to win there.
The state tournament will be held this Saturday in Terre Haute. Finally, the Yorktown girls soccer team is representing its school well, with 4 members of the team making all-conference in the Hoosier Heritage Conference. Leah Alexander, Elizabeth Reese, Carly Culberson, and Chloe Mariotti being selected to the team this year. It's really good that those 4 from that school are making that team. It's very hard to make the all-conference team here. You know what I'm saying, Alex?
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely looking forward to this weekend, especially the girls volleyball team. Sounds like they've got this one in the bag. So
that's right.
So
yeah,
that
Yorktown girls volleyball team is playing in the state title on Saturday, and they're actually 26-0. They're undefeated, 26 games. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, that's definitely crazy.
I wish I could win 26 games in my life. So hopefully they weren't even in the state title last year. So hopefully this year that they can get that done.
Hopefully it's this year. Knock on wood.
That's right.
And after the break, we'll give you one final look at weather. Stay with us.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared. So start now.
Right now?
Right now. You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
We are just under a week away from a very important presidential election, but an intense campaign is also brewing at the Alaska Zoo. Meet one of the candidates. Izzy is a massive brown bear and is a favorite candidate. You can see right there. For president of the zoo so far, however, this election isn't won on votes, but campaign donations. Izzy's handler, Sam Levine, speaks on his behalf, as any good campaign manager would.
It's a fundraiser for us, and every dollar is a vote. So you can vote often, and you can vote a lot. You know, he wants everybody to be happy and healthy and be a good ambassador for their species.
That is very cute. It's looking very, very cold out there, but looks like sunshine over here. Chris, what can you tell us?
Oh, rain's going to be moving in by tomorrow. Eventually we clear up for the weekend. Temperatures hovering around the upper 40s to mid 50s.
I'm looking forward to that sunshine and Halloween and all that. It's very spooky season.
3 days away.
Oh, yes. I cannot wait for that.
Yes, and that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live right here on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.